Lovey, you think you can do this by yourself? Absolutely not. Let's talk about it. Hey, Lovey, it's me, El Marie, your self-discovery coach. But really, you just on the journey with me at this point. You're on my journey of self-discovery because I want to show you what it looks like, what the tangible life work looks like in order to go through, navigate, and really embrace your personal self-discovery journey. So we have talked about in self-discovery about finding the treasures within ourselves. And a lot of times we want to always talk about clearing out the trash and making sure this is changed and changing this and changing that. But we don't realize the good things that are in our lives, our treasures. However, even with the treasures, you cannot navigate the treasures by yourself. So we always got to go back to the manufacturer. Who is the manufacturer of us? Who created us? Who put us together? Who knows our ins and outs? God does. God, Father, Jesus, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. That's what we believe and we know to be true over here. So whenever we are looking at the treasures in our life, we can't pick that treasure and say, oh, this is what this is for, without consulting the manufacturer himself or manufacturer's manual, which is the Bible. So we cannot do the self-discovery journey on our own. On our own, we cannot do it. We have tried. We have definitely tried. And that's how we know we can't do it by ourselves. So how do we do it? What does that look like? What is the tangible things? What? Yeah, that's how we feel. We feel overwhelmed sometimes. We feel like we don't know what's going on. We're excited about the talents and the gifts that we see going on in our lives, but we just don't know how to utilize them properly. And a lot of times what we think we're supposed to be doing with them is not what God intended. Could it work like that? Yes. Could a clothespin be used to close my potato chips? Yes, I do it all the time. But the intended purpose of the clothespin is to hang up clothes outside to let them dry. So a lot of times we can use the treasures and the things that we find when we're discovering ourselves. We can utilize them for other things, but is that the best use of your gifts? Is that the best use of your talents? Is that the best use of those things that God has planted in you? Is that the best use for those things? And then when we think about the usage, maybe we need the usage to look like this in this season and to utilize it for this in another season. So let's make that make sense. So, okay, we have plants, right? We have plants. So let's talk about mint. We can utilize mint as a bug repellent. We can utilize mint in food. We can utilize mint in our drinks. We can utilize mint for medicinal purposes. So even though that's one plant, it can be used for several different things. So how do we know? It's getting more confusing, El Marie. So you said one thing, you got to figure out what it's used for, and it may not be used for the thing that we think. But then on the other hand, you just said it could be used for different things in different seasons or for different circumstances. All of that is true, Lovey. And the way that you get unconfused is to pray, is to read your word, is to talk to God, right? Understand the seasons that you are in. Now, we used to have a clear definition of winter, summer, spring, and fall, but now that's kind of interacting with each other here, especially North Carolina, United States. So we don't really have a clear start and cut off for that. And sometimes that's the same thing with our gifts and talents. We have seasons, so we don't have a clear start and cut off for utilizing our treasures in one manner versus the other manner. So that's why communication, aka prayer, and meditation is really good, is really essential, is you have to have it when you're navigating your self-discovery journey, because you're going to discover some amazing things. Like, I discovered a long time ago that I was a good teacher, right? So I pursued teaching as a career, and that was not for me. I only pursued it for a little bit, for like a semester. I went to college to be a teacher. But that's what that teaching aspect was not supposed to be utilized in a classroom. Okay? So what am I supposed to be teaching? Well, depending on what's going on, that teacher aspect was a piece of the big nurturing treasure that I have in me, the nurturing aspect. So whenever you look up the word nurturing, teaching is a part of that definition. And so it made sense. Okay, I'm a nurturer. So a nurturer teaches. I don't teach ABC 1, 2, 3. I don't teach Spanish or Yoruba, 2 languages I want to learn, by the way. I don't teach things that are traditionally in a classroom. I teach about life. I teach my Lovey mentees about life. We've talked about how to navigate relationships. We've talked about how to navigate loving ourselves. So these are the teaching aspects of what I do. And that's not traditional. That is not traditional. So when I understood that, I started understanding that my life is not traditional. My life does not look like everybody's life. I'm not out here on the gram trying to get the soft life that everybody has, or the boss babe life that everybody has, or whatever life people have. I don't set out to get that, because that is not for me. How do I know that? Because I've talked to God. We've had conversations. I've meditated. I've been still enough to hear his voice. And I know what it sounds like, because we talk very often. And I'm not just talking and asking things from him, but I am sitting still and listening to what he replies. Sometimes we talk and talk and talk. Have you had that friend or that person that talks and talks and talks, and you don't get a word in that conversation at all, even when they ask you questions? So what do you think about this? Well, because I was thinking like, da, da, da. So you never even answer the question of what they ask you. Is that what we're doing to God? Is that our prayer life? And it was for me. So no shame, no foul, is that if that's what it is. But we can change. We can if we choose to. Do you know that change is a choice? And also love is a choice as well. Love is a choice. Okay. That's for another day, another pod. So anyway, we want to be sure that we are listening. We are communicating, because communication is just not a one-way street. That's why I didn't say just talking to God, because I need you to communicate. I need you to listen. I need you to be still. And a lot of times when I listen and I hear, I have to write it down, because it's been more than one time where I had to go back and like, oh wow, okay, this is what that meant. So when I understand that my life doesn't look like everybody else's, my life isn't traditional, I'm like, okay, well, what is it? And once again, I go back to communication. I go back to listening, because I've tried so many times to figure this out on my own, and it does not work. It doesn't work. I'm over here doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing, spending time, money, energy into something or a situation or a circumstance or a seemingly task that I'm not supposed to be doing, when I can be over here and have something done in a day. Less energy, keeping my peace, right? Understanding that, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's get it done. Let's learn the lessons. Let's embrace the happiness, the joy, the kindness in that moment, in that task. Let's love on the people that we come across, and let's keep going, because there's so much for us to do, but so little time. I'm learning that I'm taking life for granted, because I always put stuff, the procrastination part. It shows that you take life for granted because you always say, or I will always say, I can't speak for you. I say, oh, I can do it. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Honey, I don't even know if I'm going to be living tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to have the capabilities, even if I'm living, will I have the capabilities to do that tomorrow? I don't even know if tomorrow's task is going to allow me to insert the thing I was supposed to do today into my schedule tomorrow. And my schedule isn't tight like it used to be, but things pop up. As a business owner, things pop up. As a person that's still hanging out and taking care of, not as much as I used to take care of mom, but really taking care of the household with my dad, and doing the things to make sure that he's not stressed out. And a lot of things are done online. That's not his thing. So I'm trying to take care of those things. So taking for granted that I'm going to be here, that I'm going to have the time, that my day is going to be okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm taking that for granted, and that's not cool. That's not cool. It's not cool because it's like, okay, God, whatever. I'll get to you when I get to you. To me, that's what it kind of sounds like. And is that a true loving, caring, considerate relationship? Especially when I'm supposed to be working in my purpose, especially because the whole reason I'm here on earth is to get done what he wanted me to do. I'm here for him. I'm here for God. Like God placed me here for him. I need to be his hands and feet in the earth. He put us on the earth to make the earth look like heaven. And each one of us has assignments and tasks that we need to do to get that whole picture. Because that's the whole bottom line, is that you were created to make the earth look like the kingdom of heaven. That was it. But in that, we have different tasks that allows that to happen. So when you think about it, it's like you're needed, everybody's needed, and life is this one big continuous puzzle that are piecing people together. They talk about the like you're six people separations away from everybody. It might be 6 or 10 separations away from everybody in the world. That's how connected we are. And that's talking about how you can connect yourself to anybody in this world by like 6 to 10 relationships or connections. And so if we can do that, then we understand that we're not supposed to be doing this life on our own. Now, we're not supposed to be doing this life on our own, but don't just invite any and everybody into your life to do life with. So let's break that down. So you can be in my life and I can see you as I'm fulfilling a task. We can have a conversation in the waiting room or in the bathroom as we're washing our hands. That is a connection. I may say something that sparks something inside of you to go or confirm what God has already put in your heart. Or you may do the same for me. Either way, that's a connection that was ordained. Everybody that you come in contact with is ordained. Now, do you have to bring everybody on your journey? Absolutely not. Some of us are being weighed down because we have so many relationships that we're not supposed to be having, and we're trying to navigate our self-discovery journey. We're trying to make we're trying to make earth look like the kingdom of heaven, and we can't do it because we're so tired because we have the weight of relationships that we're not supposed to be carrying. So let us stop doing that. Let us not do that. Put down some of that. Cut off some of those relationships. And when I say cut off, it doesn't have to be so angry. It doesn't have to be so, so petty. It don't have to be any of that. Just be like, hey, it's been a great time hanging out with you. I appreciate everything that you have sown into my life. And I appreciate everything that you have done or said to elevate me to become a better person. But I see in this time that we're just drifting apart. And I don't want to be a wait for you. And I know you don't want to be a wait for me. So we're just going to embrace what we had. We're going to love on that. We're going to grow from that. But it's no reason for us to keep moving forward. Now, that could sting and that could hurt if somebody thinks that you're their all in all in the relationship, or if somebody is so used to using you and so used to utilizing your gifts, your talents, your time for their purpose. That could be a little tough conversation to have. And somebody may turn that into a negative and be like, I ain't need you no way, blah, blah, blah. You know how people get when they get hurt. They get angry and mean. But it has to be done. It has to be done. It has to be done. It has to be done for you. It has to be done for the people that you're actually supposed to be connected with. It has to be done for the people that you're going to be coming in contact with. Because let's think about this as an example. I'm in the airport, right? I'm in the airport and somebody's calling me, not giving me the peace that I need to travel, calling me with all their issues and all the time. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to navigate through the airport. I'm going to call you back. But, oh, let me just tell you this one more thing. Like, so is that person really for you? And then you're missing the person that you're supposed to be ministering to, or that's a part of your assignment, because you're too busy on the phone trying to talk to somebody that you're not supposed to be connected with, and you're missing connections. You're missing connections. Or you're too busy on social media trying to become that influencer when you're missing the connections that could get you to where you feel like you need to be right in front of your face. So, let us be aware. Let us be aware. Let us be very intentional about what we're doing, about our task, about our relationships. So this week, I want you to take inventory of your relationships. Take inventory of your schedule. Are you really supposed to be doing what God, are you really supposed to be doing the things that you're doing? Are you doing busy work because you feel like I need to be doing something? And that's me. I do a lot of stuff because I feel like I need to be doing something. I feel like I need to be busy. But busy does not equal productivity. And busy does not equal assignment. So what are we doing? So this week we're all going to look at our schedules. We're all going to look at our relationships. We're going to make sure that we don't have dead weight in our relationships. We want to make sure that we're actually having conversation with God. For me, because of the season that I'm in, I'm so unclear of what's happening, because he's not showing me the whole picture. He's just showing me a little piece. And so I'm in conversation with God all day, every day, but I need to take some intentional time to just stop everything, have that conversation, read my manual so I can get more clarity on what I'm supposed to be doing now, who I'm supposed to be connected with now, and the things that I'm supposed to be, and the gifts and treasures I'm supposed to be utilizing now, and to what assignment am I supposed to be utilizing that for. So that is our life work. We're doing inventory of our life this week. Relationships, work, schedule, task, some people, parenthood, career. What does that all look like? Hobbies. What is that all looking like for you? Let's do inventory this week and let me know how that goes for you. I'll have all of my socials in the description box. Make sure that you subscribe and click that like button if something touched your heart, or something resonated with you today. I'm excited about your life and I'm here for it, and I hope to see you next time.